What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, the Hudson Hornet, modded in by a Rocker 2012. Absolutely fantastic. He did have some help from French Toast, who did all the dust mapping, rust mapping, and paint fading you can see on the car right now. Also, Payne helped with modding this one out, but it looks so far that Rocker has done a fantastic little job. Payne has said there's a little Easter egg hidden in this somewhere. I wonder if I'll be able to find it today. Hopefully I will, but I'm not holding out much hope. I've had a quick look around the car. I can't see anything that stands out and might be an Easter egg, but it could just be me being an idiot. This one doesn't have an engine in it. In the end of Friday's video, I asked you guys to do a little vote which one of these engines you would like to see. A Pi and Newton voted with saying we should do the V8 single overhead cam engine because nobody ever picks this one. The only one in here is the FME engine. Let's go over to the engine stand and take a very quick look at what's going on with that one. So this is the engine we will be putting into this one today. It sits at the end, the V8 single overhead cam FME engine. 222 base horsepower on that one. We won't be playing around with that too much. We will be obviously putting performance parts all over that and making it as fast as we possibly can. Being that this is the drag edition, we could be going for much more powerful engines, but that was my choice. I put out the vote. We had the vote come in, and that's the engine we're going to go for. So this is what we are going to be working on today. So let's get stuck in. Let's get over to the car wash and get this one cleaned up and ready to strip down. Here we are then at the car wash. What colour is this Hudson Hornet underneath all of this dust? Getting rid of all of French Toast's lovely work on this one now by getting it all cleaned up, looking nice. You've still got the paint fade and obviously rust mapping and things like that on there, but all the dust is now gone, and it's a bit of a boring sort of burgundy, reddy, browny sort of colour. Not overly keen on that one. So let's get this one cleaned up, get the interior done, get it back on the lift, and start tearing the engine bay down and the suspension. It's back on the lift. There's no engine, so let's check out this engine bay and see what we've got. Or not got, as the case may be. This looks pretty empty. Let's have a look here. So we're missing the radiator, battery, fuse box, brake servo. That looks to be about it from the front end. Obviously the engine block. Missing all of the exhaust, the fuel tank, and the fuel pump down at the back there. And obviously we are missing that whopping great engine in there that we know we need to swap out anyway. So we're going to have to buy a few parts there. But let's check out the suspension. First of all, let's get this wheel off, get it out of the way. Out you come. Let's have a look what we've got going on underneath. This side's probably complete because it did have the wheel on. Hubcap, bearing, sway bar link, inner and outer tie rod. All of the bushings are on there. That side looks good. Obviously, we've got the double wishbone with the single shock in the middle there. On the other side here, we are missing the hubcap. We are missing the bearing. We're missing the outer tie rod. I always forget which one's which. And we're missing the entire shock system. We've got the double wishbone in there and all the bushings, so that's not too bad, but we are missing a few bits down there. Let's try and get down the back of this really long car. Let's get this rear wheel off. Again, this side should be pretty complete because the wheel is on. What have we got? We got the solid rear drive axle. We got all the brake calipers. We've got the plates and the U-bolts along with all the bushings. This side... just double check. Yeah, this side is definitely looking complete. What are we missing on this side? Brake pad, brake caliper, and the little bolty nut bit that goes in there as well. But apart from that, that is about it. So it isn't really looking that bad. Let's just go back down to the front and start tearing this one down. That's everything for the Hudson Hornet. Suspension and engine are bought or repaired, whatever was needed. We've finished that engine. We've bought all the parts we need for that. So that one will be going in a bit later. But for now, we have everything stripped off. We need to get this bodywork off. So let's just jump in and start tearing this down. Off with that incredibly bumpy hood there. Out you go with the fenders. Off with the front end. Am I missing anything else at the front here? Is that a front bumper or is that just part of it? That looks like it's just part of it, but you can never be sure. I might have to come back to that later. There goes the windscreen. There goes the rear window and a fender. Nice. Body window. Car part 2 in there. No rear. Well, I already got the rear window. Out with the trunk. Out with the rear bumper. These lights there. The lights just sat there. Only one. Am I missing anything else over here? Doesn't look like it. Spin around. Car part 3. Then we've got that fender. Then we've got the door, side window. And that looks to be it. Have I got everything? I think I've got everything. Any interior? There is a steering wheel, so we know we need to pull that one out. So let's get you out. Definitely replacing that one, though. It fits really well with all that wood in there. So that's pretty good. Let's jump in and have a look. 2%, so I'm definitely missing something, but what is it? Car part 1. Where does car part 1 live? What do we reckon? Let's try and figure this out. Car part 1. Where do you live, car part 1? I popped into the shop to find out what car part 1 is. It is the radio compartment sat there. Pretty good. Now we've got a blank dashboard. We can pick which one we want later on. That's all right then. Let's now go get this frame all sorted out. Come over here, you. I never discussed how much I bought the car for. Should we have a quick look now? Should still be there, but my profit won't be right. So I paid $19,057 for the car. Sadly, I don't know what my profit was like at the time of buying. I don't know if I got ripped off or not because I never checked it out. But 20,000 to just under for this car. It's in pretty bad condition, so I reckon 1,500? 1,450. That was close. That was very, very close. So let's get all this body repaired, or this frame repaired. Nice. Looking a lot better. Still not going to keen on that colour, though. The burgundy, browny, reddy sort of colour. Not overly happy with that. But let's go over to the part shop and take a look what we have in here. I was just in here, obviously, to find out no radio with the radio. There's the car part 1. We will be going with the radio. That did look pretty sweet. And then we've got lots and lots of options. Chrome and carbon trims. The rear seat in there, car part 4. Front bumper. A couple of different options for the front bumpers there. In fact, loads of different options for the front bumper there. A couple of different options with the front grille or front end. Lots of different selections of doors, windows, fenders, the whole works. There is a lot to be playing around with this one today. I don't know what I'm going to go with. Really unsure. Pretty confident, though, I'm not going to repair anything I've already got. I'm going to go and buy all new for this one. I may repair some of it. I'm not sure yet, though. I'm going to get all of the stuff bought. Then we'll get and pin it all back together before we head over to the paint shop and check out what lovely liveries or coveries? Lovely liveries or colours we can have for this stunning little Hudson Hornet. I'll see you back here in a moment. Well, I'm pretty sure I've got everything, so it's time to start getting it all back together. Carbon trim fenders on there. They look absolutely fantastic. Carbon trim door as well. It looks great on there. And then sadly, it is carbon trim going on down there for the trim down the back. But then underneath here, you can't do anything. You have to have some trim here. You either have it with the wheel cover, this section here, or without. I decided to go with the wheel cover. I'd rather it had been in carbon. It would have looked a little better for me, but it is what it is. It still looks pretty good. Then I've got some LED lights in there. Let's just chuck these pieces on. And now we've seen that. On you go, on you go, on you go, and in with that LED lights. Then the front end I've gone for is a painted with tinted lights just dotted in there. You can see them just on either side, looking pretty sweet. The hood is with the carbon ornament. Look at that, looking pretty sweet. And then the front bumper is clean painted with a little carbon lip sticking out the bottom. I'm not 100% about this carbon lip yet. That may change, but as it stands at the moment, that's how it's going. Windshield is having that one with the visor on there, looking great. Then we just got all the windows in. Let's just get you in. This one is the window with the roll cage. Bearing in mind, this is going to be a drag racer. On with that piece of trim. Let's just get the windows on the other side. There we go. There we go. Nice. Looking pretty sweet. Then for the trunk, I went for plastic emblems with the carbon wing. Got the little carbon wing on there, and then all the blacked out emblems looking pretty sweet. Rear bumper, clean painted, looking pretty slick, pretty tidy. And then just some tinted lights on there just to finish that bodywork off. There is one more piece to finish with the bodywork. It is almost impossible to get to. You can see it in there, the radio piece. Even with the door off, which I will show you now. Let's just take you off and go into this. You can see it, even though I'm on it, it won't sort of select it from here. If I go over this side, I can't even reach it because the door's in the way. If I go around the other side, take this door off as well, come into here, you can see it's not highlighting anywhere. You can't grab it. The easiest way to do it, I'll show you, is to take the car outside. But let's get the interior in first. Get this one almost finished off. We'll go outside and I'll show you how to put it on. So let's just jump out of here, go into here, go for the interior. I swapped the seat out to the 964 like racing style seat, but I did keep the original wooden steering wheel because that looks absolutely great in there. But let's get this car outside. Let's get, pretty weird going outside this part of the video, but we need to get that dashboard piece in. And sadly, this is the only way I know how. Even then, it's a bit finicky. There we go. That's that all done, I believe. Let's just get you back on the lifter. Inside we go. I don't want it outside on bricks. Back on the lifter. Let's just give it a double check. That's not what I wanted. 100%, 100%, 100%. This one, bodywork-wise, is a finished. It's looking absolutely fantastic. I like it. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm very happy with it. I think it looks sweet, but I don't know if it quite fits a drag racer. We may swap it, we may not, but remember, this isn't having the most powerful engine in it anyway. But let's now head over to the paint shop and check out Rocker 2012's liveries for this lovely Hudson Hornet. Let's check out Rocker 2012's liveries then. I'm loving this Hudson Hornet. It looks absolutely incredible. So let's just go in. Slot number 1 is the fabulous Hudson Hornet. What a brilliant one. This is a 51. This is actually a 52 Hudson Hornet, so it doesn't quite match, but it is a tribute model. Absolutely fantastic. That's looking great. Plus, you could have put the eye pits in there from the Cars films, basically. Slot number 2. Oh, I believe this is just a little map so that other people can make liveries. Let's just skip over that one. Slot number 3. I think we need to change the color. Is this? Oh, that's quite nice. Sort of like a creamy white, black onto white. That is looking pretty sweet. Slot number 4. Same, but in blue. I'm not overly fond of that, but maybe if it was white, it might be a bit better. Then we could maybe swap some other bits out. That's actually not bad. That's a maybe. Then we got an orange. I quite like the orange there. That's pretty nice. If we change this, like put it on pearl, for example. Oh, it's not. Well, it's still pretty nice. Let's just have a look. Metallic is. Oh, that's quite coppery, though. Oh, I do quite like that. Anyway, let's just put that back on gloss and carry on going through these. Slot number 6 is green. That's pretty nice. Slot number 7 is a red color. That's pretty nice as well. We could go black and red, maybe. That isn't bad. And maybe then swap out the grille for some red colors or something like that. Maybe the grille and the bumper for a red. I don't know. We'll come back to that. Slot number 8 is the plain white. I quite like the plain white. That's looking pretty sweet. Maybe then we could swap that grille out to a white grille. Keep the bumpers black. That might look pretty cool. Maybe that's what we'll go with. That is all of them. So I'm going to pick which one I like the most. I'll be honest, it probably is going to be that black and white one in slot number 8 because that's pretty cool. With some minor tweaks here and there. I'll keep that black. We'll find out. We'll spin it around in a minute. I'll come back. I'll pick my final design, my final color choice, and then we'll take a look at it before we head back onto the lift and get all that suspension reassembled. This is what I went for in the end. We've got this beautiful matte red and matte black body on here with the matte red and matte red grille and bumper, and then the matte red rear bumper as well. Not quite a perfect match. You can see there is a slight color difference there. It's probably to do with the materials. It looked pretty accurate on the body, but sadly, against it, when it's separated with the black, there is a little bit of difference, but it still looks pretty sweet. Very, very happy with how that turned out. It looks absolutely incredible. We've obviously got the wheel covers on there. In the engine bay, it is going to be mostly a gloss black engine with a few of this color matte red dotted on it, along with on the fuse box on there. That should look pretty sweet. And we've also got some of this dark matte red underneath here, along with some gloss black in the suspension as well. As far as I can tell, it is looking pretty incredible. I've got all them bits that I need to paint up and get ready to go back on the car. So I'll meet you back by the lifter in just a few minutes when we'll get all the suspension reassembled in its glorious color. And then we'll head over and get that V8 single overhead cam engine built. So then we got everything painted. Let's start the reassembly. Shocks are in the gloss black. The springs are in that matte red. Can't really see from here. A bit too dark for the color down here. But let's get over and throw these bits onto the car. You can see I've already got the non-painted parts on there. Let's start with the cross member. That is in that lovely matte red, which from here... Oh, okay. No, it didn't look like it matched the car, but it does match the car. That's all right then. I was a bit concerned for a moment. I thought I'd ruined everything, but that does sort of match the car, so it's not too bad. So let's get you on, and then let's get these bottom suspension arms. These are all in the red, and I think they look absolutely incredible. They've come out really well. It's a really nice red. It is all color matched to there, hopefully against the body. Can't really see it too much at the moment, but we should see it a little bit later on. Let's get that sway bar front end link on so I don't forget that. Then we've got the wheel hub cap just in a gloss black, along with the brake caliper just in a gloss black as well. That's looking pretty sweet. I'm quite happy with that. Let's just check the red against the bumper. It isn't the same as the bumper, but it isn't far off the body, so that's not too bad. That is the front end all done. Let's move down the back. I'm going to jump out and jump back in because it's all underneath here. Let's go. Let's get this center rear axle in. Now, that centerpiece is in the gloss black. Then I've got the shocks in that matte red. They're a bit brighter. They're looking pretty sweet. The leaf springs are also in that matte red. You can see it does sort of match. They've got a bit more of a shine to them on the shocks than the leaf spring does. Let's just step away again. Yeah, you can see that is very close to the color of the body there. So I'm very, very happy with that. Let's get these rubber bushings in and get this rear end all finished up so we can jump in and move on to that lovely engine bay in a moment. So the knuckle housing can't be painted, so it is just what it is. I forgot the leaf spring plate there in the gloss black, and then the U-bolts are in that red again. Looking absolutely fantastic. Just throwing a splash more of that red over that black cross axle there. Looking sweet. On with the drive axle. In you go. On with our performance brakes. The brake pads. And then those gloss black brake calipers. Looking pretty sweet. That's the rear end, or one side of the rear end done as well. I'm going to crack on and get the other side finished. Get all of the exhaust in, a fuel tank in, all the different bits like that. Fuel tank's back here somewhere. There it is. Get all the other side finished, get all of that in, get all of this in, and then we'll jump on and get that engine bay finished in just a few moments. There's only one piece of colour in there. Oh, in fact, no, there's two pieces of colour in there. We'll find out in just a minute. I've totally forgotten. I've worked on a few cars today because I've been trying to get my competition car done as well. So let's check out the engine bay in just a second. That's the suspension all finished in this stunning Hudson Hornet. You can see the reds on there. Mixed in with the blacks and just a little bit of red on the springs there. They don't really show up too much. You can see it just in the light there. It's looking pretty incredible. I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. Obviously, we got all of that exhaust in as well, along with the fuel tank and the fuel pump. But we now need to move on and get this engine bay sorted out. There isn't much to go in here. We've got the brake servo. Thank you. Then we've got the radiator C sat there. A battery sat here. And then a fuse box, which I have done in that lovely matte red there. That is literally it for the engine bay. There is absolutely nothing else to go in. So let's get this fuse box finished. Then we'll jump into the engine room. We'll get back on that stand and get that V8 single overhead cam engine back together. Hopefully it's looking pretty good. Some blacks, some reds on there is looking pretty cool, along with some chrome pieces. So let's go and do that absolutely now. Let's just come out of this, and there you go. You can see that matte just in there in the box in the engine bay, looking pretty good. Loving all the cable detail you've got going on in here. I hope it connects to that engine and makes it look absolutely sick when it's finished. But that is looking pretty sweet. I'm loving the colours on that, along with underneath. But let's get that engine all sorted out. Let's just start this off. On we go with the engine block being in a gloss black. This is a black and red car, so it makes sense. Then we've got the red fuel filter on there. Lovely chromed out alternator sat on the top of the engine, looking pretty sweet. The water pump is just in its standard colour. Couldn't paint that one, would have looked weird. And then the power steering pump, I could have painted that one, but it would have looked a bit out of place with these two parts just being in their standard colour. So let's just carry on with a few more bits of this as we can. Or the oil filter, I did that one in the matte red just to throw a splash more colour on the actual block itself. But let's go around. We got all the gearbox stuff to set up. We can see that it is a V8. It's a beautiful 8-piston engine there with 3 crankshaft bearings, all of the rod caps. So nice and simple. You got the piston with Comrade, the standard piston rings on there, and then a rod cap. Pretty cool. Very easy to get all of this one back together, and then we'll be at the top end where I'm going to be throwing some more colour on there, and hopefully this engine looks as incredible as it does in my mind at the moment. I'll see you at the top end in just a moment. Okay, let's crack on and get this engine done. You can see there the block and the oil pan are both in that gloss black. Looking pretty sweet if you ask me, but let's get these engine heads on. They are painted in that matte red. As you can see, quite a bit more than normal is painted. You can still see it's mostly the performance chrome all around the outside with a few splashes of red in there. Let's get all of these bolts on. I won't sit and make you watch this. I'll get this one and the other head on, and we'll carry on from there. There you go. Both engine heads are on. Let's throw on these exhaust manifolds in their lovely performance parts chrome. Looking absolutely incredible. Very happy with them. Not quite the same chrome as the engine head, but a very close one. Got to get these cam shafts on, no bolts on top of them. They get these camshaft caps, a single piece there, looking pretty sweet. Also, the cam gears on as well, so let's do the same on the other side. Get all of this in and set up ready. On you go with the other exhaust manifold and the other cam gear. Then let's throw these camshaft caps on. You can see there is a lot of bolts in these, and they never come up in the order I would like them to. I always like to start in one corner and work my way to the other. Let's get the other one on as well. There we go. Finally got the right 2 bolts in. Let's get you all the way in there. And then we should be able to throw these timing chains on the front along with some timing chain shoes. On you go, and then on you go with the other shoe there. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. As you can see, the engine, the timing cover on this, covers up pretty much all of that red we could see. So what color is that? I have just done that one in a gloss black. I didn't want to throw too much red onto the front of this engine. You won't be able to see it too clearly inside the engine bay. Most of the red is at the top. There is a little bit of a splash underneath here. So let's get all of these pieces here on. 1 crankshaft pulley, 2 idle rollers, 1 of the A, 1 of the B. And then we should be able to throw a belt on. Nice. And then the belt tensioner just in the red there. You can just see a splash of matte red at the front. That is the front finished. We need to crack on and get this top done. I need to get all these spark plugs in along with the next part, which I can't put on yet. So we'll go with the engine head cover A, just in the gloss black. They wouldn't take red coloring at all, but they do look quite good in the black. You've got a splash of red showing underneath, and then there will be a few splashes of red elsewhere. Let's get this intake manifold on. This has got a bit of red in it. You can see the red just along the front there and in these bolt holes at the top. So we'll get you in. That's looking pretty good. As you can see, the main bulk of that is black and couldn't be painted. Here's what I was going to show you, the ignition coils. So I need to get all of them in and this other engine head cover on. So I'll meet you back here in just a second. That's all the spark plugs, ignition coils, and the final engine head cover on there. A few more pieces to go. Let's get the fuel rail in that beautiful matte red, looking absolutely stunning. Very dark red. I normally go for a much brighter red, more in time with the fuel filter, but it's a lot darker this time, but it's looking great. And then the very last thing to go on this one is the V8 throttle, also in that deep matte red, bringing just enough color to the top of this engine to make it look absolutely incredible. I think that looks great. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I wish the actual engine heads could have been painted and showed up more red on the front of them. But apart from that, it looks absolutely fantastic. So let's get this one dropped into the mighty Hudson Hornet, our drag racing edition. Probably not with the most horsepower we've ever put in it, but it is looking great. Let's get you dropped in that lovely gap. In you go. Let's get this crane put away and take a look at that. That's looking pretty sweet. Very happy with that. The red of the grille and the bumper, or the front end and the bumper, shining in towards the engine. Looking absolutely incredible. Let's get it up in the air, get the gearbox, drive shaft, and a starter in, and then I can crack on and get these wheels finished and get this car ready to go outside into the sun. So on with the performance gearbox. It is in a lovely matte red. It looks absolutely incredible. I'm very happy with that. In with a little starter just tucked in inside, literally on that steering rack, but never mind, it is pretty good. And then we'll get the drive shaft on. And then, as I say, we just need to crack on and get the wheels done and get the liquids topped up. I'll see you outside in just a minute when this one is all finished. Here we are then, all finished with the stunning Hudson Hornet. It looks absolutely incredible. What an excellent mod by Rocker 2012. Brilliant, brilliant work. I am absolutely loving this. And good choice, Pi Newton, for that engine. It looks absolutely great in there. Hopefully I've done a good job on it. We'll find out the horsepower from this one. Has got lots of performance parts in it in just a little while. But before we jump into that, let's go on to the rims. Now, for the rims today, I went for the Fairlady Z rims. Bit of a weird one, but look how retro they look. And in the black, as they come in black, they fit this car absolutely perfectly. Well, you can't really see them in the back, but at the front, they look incredible. The rims at the front here, these are a 20-inch rim with a 185 width thickness and a 50 profile on there. They look absolutely insane. Very happy with them. No ET, tucked nice inside in the wheel well, so you can get all of that turning circle you need on there. And then at the rears here, not that you can really see them, you can see just the outline there. Still the Fairlady Z rims. These ones at the rear are a 17-inch, so a much smaller rim. 255 width, so a lot thicker. And then a 55 profile, so a tiny little bit thicker on them rear rims there. Absolutely insane. Loving all of the carbon bodywork on here. Looks absolutely great. You've got the carbon strips running all the way down the side there with the Hornet logo sticking at the front there in the carbon. And we've also got that carbon hood ornament just sat nicely, just peeking up above there. Looking absolutely great. And also it's a carbon spoiler as well with the black details. The only thing I would like changed on this mod, if there was ever going to be some change, would be maybe some carbon or just plain coloured versions of these bits down here. And maybe get rid of this chrome up around here. You can already do the insides of the door with black trim. Can't do the rear one. But you can't get rid of this chrome detailing. So that would have been nice for me. Still looks absolutely great, again, along with this chrome strip here. I'd like to get rid of that. I'm not the biggest fan of chrome. This one looks really nice. You've got blacks, reds, and then the chrome poking up through. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I much prefer colour, but it does look all right. There were just some changes I would make if it was me. Not that I'm saying anything, because this is an absolutely fantastic mod. I couldn't do this myself, so well done on Rocker 2012. Absolutely brilliant. Loving all the little details. I'll be honest, French Toast, I have not found the Easter egg you were referring to. As I say, I don't know which Easter egg it was. I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking, but I didn't find it. But let's jump in this one and check out this interior, because I've got to be honest, this is probably my new favourite interior. I can't seem to sit on the seat. There we go. Just took a little while to get there. You've got the roll cage in here, which is associated with the rear window. And then you've got this wood paneling absolutely everywhere. Well, not paneling, wood effect absolutely everywhere. It looks absolutely great. It even matches in the dashboard to that steering wheel. Looking fantastic. This is such a beautiful mod. Very, very well done. Link is in the description below. Go and grab this one yourself. Have some fun with it. Play with some liveries. Pick whichever engine you want in it. But let's get ours started and see what this one sounds like. Okay, I don't think I've ever worked with this actual engine before, the single overhead cam V8. I don't think I've worked. So let's give it some gas and see what it sounds like. It's got a nice tick over. Definitely sounds quite mean at the top end, but let's get this one over to the dyno and see how much power we've added today. Here we are then on the dyno with the Hudson Hornet Drag Edition, with its V8 single overhead cam FME engine, 290 horsepower. How much did we add today? Performance parts, 184 horsepower gained, a plus of 64%, bringing our total up to 473 horsepower. This is quite a big, heavy car. That's still quite an impressive horsepower. Let's go check out the tuning gearbox setup we've gone for today. Over in here, here it is. 118 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to 781 in top gear with a nice curve out. I don't think we'll get there. A final ratio of 1.48 is what we've gone for today. Let's get it on the track and see what that relates to into speed. Here we are then on the speed track. How much can we get out of the 473 horsepower Hudson Hornet Drag Racing Edition? Let's go. Not the best start off the line, but then the power definitely kicks in straight after that. And it starts climbing up through the kilometers an hour, heading up towards the 200 kilometers. There it is, Mark. Can we make it to 300, maybe even 350? Come on, little Hudson Hornet, you can do it. This is quite a nice car. The window tint's still a bit dark. It's only about 50% as well. Coming up towards 300 kilometers an hour. There it is. Where are we going to end up? There's 310. Can we get to 320? Go on. Just there. 320 kilometers an hour from our drag racing Hudson Hornet, which is finished on its roof. Here we are then, all finished with Rocker 2012's beautiful Hudson Hornet mod. Absolutely incredible. This is the drag edition, and we got 320 kilometers an hour down the runway out of this one. Not too bad. Not brilliant. 79th out of 101 Car Mechanic Simulator cars. Not the best we've ever had, but by far not the worst. And this one was a great mod, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Very happy with how it came out. Matte black, and then this dark matte red dotted around it with the grille and the bumpers, or the front end and bumpers in that matte red as well. Along with a few bits on the engine, which I think look absolutely incredible. And a few bits on the suspension as well there, which are looking great. Very, very happy with how this one turned out. Excellent job, Rocker 2012. Link is in the description below. Go and grab this one. Show Rocker some love. Show him how much you enjoy this one. Leave him some likes and some stuff like that. Speaking of likes, if you've enjoyed this video, leave me a like. Don't forget to maybe even consider subscribing. And, well, you know the rest. Let's get back into this. Some facts and figures. I bought the car at the very beginning for 19,057 credits. We have since spent 56,511 modifying, upgrading this car today. Obviously, I bought a couple of the bumpers, a couple of the windscreens as well, a few other bits. I bought a couple of the strips down here, car part 2. Bought a few different ones of them to see how things looked, a couple of different doors and fenders. So I spent a bit more than I should have, but still pits our total spend at 75,568. The big question is, how much can we sell this beautiful Hudson Hornet for? Let's jump in and find out. This is the drag edition. We did get it from the auction house. I don't know if we got ripped off because I honestly forgot to check. But we have put some performance parts in this engine and giving it an increase of 64%, going up to 473 horsepower from 290 from that single overhead cam FME engine. What a little beauty. But how much can we sell this one for? 140,010 credits. I wasn't quite expecting that much. That's pretty good. Let's take away our 75,568. Leaves our profit at 64,442 credits. That's pretty good. I'm loving this one. It has been a lot of fun to work on, but we do need to say goodbye to the Hudson Hornet. So off you go, Hudson Hornet. You've been a pleasure. Get some more credits in the bank. What have we got up next? Now I keep talking about our little Discord competition with the FMV Panther Mark 1. So this is what my one is going to be. This is obviously nowhere near its finished state. You can see that it's a bit lowered more than everyone else's. I don't want to show too much because I don't want to give it too much away, but this will be Wednesday's video. I will probably release the images of this car probably either Monday or Tuesday, depending on when I get the video finished. So if you're on Discord, you may see this one early. Don't forget to come and join us on Discord, where the winners do get put up on here. I am yet to win. That was my bulk cargo that I did there. And that was the winner, Pine Newton's one. Absolutely beautiful. And then for the Bolt Supernova, I haven't put mine up here because although I like it, it's a drag racing one. It's pretty cool. It's still in my garage. I didn't sell it. This one, it was the winner, which is TLG Ratonskew. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. I do mean that. I am sorry. So whoever wins the next one, you'll be moved to the side just down here. With a new picture in the middle, whoever wins. So get in line, get on Discord, give us some votes, vote for your favourite one. All the instructions are on there. You do even still have time to make your own. It doesn't close until midnight UK time on a Wednesday. So good luck with that. That is the end of today's video. I don't want to give too much away from this lovely little car, but this is what we will be working on. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.